So, hello everyone and welcome. And you can't make this up. So, I'm driving next to an IKEA truck on my way back to Sweden for the second round of the BMW M2 Cup, which will take place in Gellerasen, but on the long version. As you might recall, I've driven the ultra short version as part of the Audi TT Cup last month. So now it's back to where I was already, just on the longer track, and of course with uh, a quite different car. So that will nevertheless be interesting. So something old, something new, so to speak. I will drive there a little bit differently this time. So last time I was in my camper van, whereas this time, as you see, I'm back in my own car. And since it's going to be a much longer drive, I will make a stop in Hamburg first and then tackle the last leg from Hamburg to Örebro afterwards. So I think I will give you an update from Hamburg with further details. So I'm getting now close to Hamburg, and I think now it's a good time to talk about the current state of affairs in the series. So if we look at the standings, then we can see I'm in fourth, and after the first race, so a lot of things can happen. And if there is one thing I learned from the Audi TT Cup, if you have this kind of a one-make series with a rather homogeneous field of drivers, then it's probably more down to the daily form of everyone, how they score, instead of having the championship contenders up there right away. So I don't think anything is really decided yet, and maybe the same tactic will work for me this time, just gathering points. What's happening here? Why is everyone stopping? Oh, yeah. A crash, but yeah, nothing serious as it looks. So yeah, hopefully that's the case. Yeah. Anyway, so I don't think anything is really decided yet, and if I can just keep scoring points and hope that no one will be on top form every time, then maybe I have a decent shot at repeating, or at least coming close to my Audi TT results. So I will here in Hamburg rest for the day, and then take off very early to catch the early morning ferry from Puttgarden to Denmark. Something you've already seen before, so I don't think I'll have another update before I arrive in Örebro in Sweden. So, while I said I wouldn't give any updates before I arrive in Örebro, I think this is too good not to share. So, I'm on Fehmarn, close to the ferry, and these are the very early morning impressions here from the ferry terminal. And yeah, I think this looks awesome. So I figure I share this now that I know where to go here and where to sort myself to go onto the ferry. So with these impressions, I'll leave you here, and then I think the next update will then really be from Örebro. So, regular viewers of this channel will probably recognize this. So I'm getting close to Örebro, the largest city next to the track in Gellerasen, which is in Karlskoga. This is where we'll stop for the night, in an actual hotel this time, and not just living off my camper van. And then tomorrow then will be the first track time, getting used to the track. It's longer, much longer than the ultra short version that you may have seen in the Audi TT race. Even 1.5 decent straights from the looks of it, so it will be, I think, less frantic overall, but it also doesn't look like that there will be tons of easy ways to overtake. So I guess an overall good qualifying position will still be important and yeah, definitely forward to getting back to a place where I think I had a decent result, and if I can emulate that, then I'm going to be happy. The only thing I want to mention at this point will be the a special offer from my sponsor, the ride-sharing platform. So there will be the opportunity with this special code that you can now see on the screen to join me on my own ride down to Clermont-Ferrand in France for the fourth and final race of the M2 series. It's not up yet, it will be up soon, so don't miss the chance to join me on my travel down, and of course to be a spectator on the race weekend there. Otherwise, see you on track. So we are now at Gellerasen on the start-finish straight, and the long version has a decently long start-finish straight, going into a tight but not too tight right-hander. So this opens slightly and is wider than it looks. Then a short straight into a long double apex right-hand hairpin, double anyway, and onto this corner, which opens onto the back straight, so that's important to get the exit. Very bumpy here. Car is jumping all over the place. Then another much tighter double apex long right-hander hairpin. Next part is flat. Then a sort of tight left-hander that goes back onto the track that we already know from the short version. And now this is then the end, identical to the short version. So
tire temperatures are fine. Sector 2 time is good.
And then the run into the last corner. Again, even more important to get a very good exit onto the long straight. So you can see I struggled a bit towards the end of the field with 7 minutes to go.
That's your quickest lap. Sector 1 is 0.6 off the pace. Your sector 2 time is quick. You're 2/10 off the pace in sector 3. That last lap was a 1:10.93.
What about nailing these corners that are not the most straightforward? So this was much better. Also good, almost good exit here, so it's difficult to get a power down early, but you can see 4/10 up, and the differences,
looking good.
The differences between the others are again very, very short. This is easier to drive than the Audi, this left-hand
The left front is hot.
And again, 4/10 down, so second sector was identical. So we'll do these 4 extra tenths and maybe a bit more, since this was a pretty good exit. Leave me.
P5, good lap. That's your best in the session.
P5.
You need to find a 10th in sector 3.
6 thousandths ahead of Di Martino, who was, I think, the pole sitter in the first race. So that was a good lap. Nothing further came of it over the last 5 minutes. Fjordback was going a bit faster, so I ended up 6th. And looking at the time differences to the top, yeah, I think I got the maximum out of this. So 6th place, finally a decent qualifying after a few laps where I sort of struggled. Now onto the race. How will my start be? Because that was another weakness in the previous races. Have I gotten the hang of starting these?
Green, green, green.
Yes, this looks decent. So that worked well. I think arguably the rear-wheel drive car is easier to start, and now I know where the bite point is for the clutch.
On your right. You're on the left, 3 wide.
Here,
on your right.
I
Right
tried
side,
something.
right.
Since this corner is pretty wide, you can actually go around the outside if the guy on the inside is a bit timid,
Car right.
so up to 5th. And
Hold your
Bäck
line.
didn't have a great start, and he was the winner
Still
of
there.
the first race.
Clear right. Car left. Clear left. Clear right.
At least part of the track are reasonably wide, so you can actually go there with 2 cars side by side, and then it's simply how brave are you under braking. But what works for you also works for the others, so it's easy for them to dive into the inside and then muscle through.
On your right. Hold your line.
Like this.
Hold your line. Clear right.
And now Bäck is right behind me and wants to try something.
Right side. Clear right. On your right. Clear right.
And even that wasn't enough to entirely close the door, but yeah, it has to go into gas at some point. And this is tricky to get right every lap, because the car's also bouncing around. And you have a lot of weight transfer. Some of that what you want and others what you don't want. Same here. Especially the first corner is a bit nasty, since the car doesn't really want to turn when it's coming off the bumps. And this is not as wide as it looks, especially since the curb on the outside, on the exit, so it goes right into the gravel, so you can't really use that curb. But this is better, closing the door on Bäck.
The leader has just done a 111.70. You've just done a 111.24.
So half a second difference to the leader, and that's what you get when you're fighting. So basically the
Alright.
same story that we had all the time. Again on the outside here,
Still
trying
there.
it on
Clear right.
Quickman, who just last 2 places in one go. So you can't really afford to be asleep at the wheel in the first corner. And you have to close the inside as well as the outside, which is as difficult as it sounds. Can you see the bumps here?
Your rear brakes are cold. Your left front.
Right side.
And even here you can try the outside and at
Hold
least
your line.
annoy the other one, and whoever
Still there.
lifts first loses.
Hold your line. Hold your line. Clear right.
Good move, mate.
So now up to 4th. And up top there is no one really who played any big role in the first race.
Is now leading.
So now the tactical part can start. It would be nice to make up a few places and points on Bäck, who won the first race, but at the same time, as long as I'm ahead,
That last lap was at 110.78.
doing reasonably well. Yeah, and you see them struggling sometimes for grip on the exit. And here it's now more important to close the inside.
Car right. Clear right.
Because Di Martino simply didn't like the last overtaking maneuver.
On your right. Clear right.
Blockade is now in the lead. All right, Andy, you're reeling. Timmers in. The gap is 0.36.
So it's going to place behind me. Bäckman is now 5th. And he got a good exit, but nope.
Sector 1 is 0.6 off the pace.
That's
The
sort
guy
of where you
behind has
defend
just
the
done a
inside of that
10.71.
first corner.
15 minutes left.
Oh, that can happen.
On your right.
If you're not careful, but yeah, it didn't
Still
hurt
there.
him, but it hurt me since I lost the momentum, because I had no
Hold
idea
your
where
line.
Timmers was
Clear
going.
right.
Okay, stay with him.
Can I get the revenge?
Left side. Still there.
No.
Clear left. Car left. Clear left.
Or can I?
Car right. Still there.
Bit of a
Hold your
friendly
line.
shove, but probably not.
Still there. Clear
This
right.
one is very tricky. But he holds it, so... And now it's as much looking into the rearview mirror as it is keeping tabs on the guy in front.
Sector 3 is yellow.
But that gives a little breathing space,
Don't let this guy intimidate you. P5.
both for Vigman and for myself.
Left side.
Oh, sorry.
Hold your line. Left side.
That wasn't
Clear
intended as a dive bomb. I was
Stewards
maybe a
warned us
little
to
bit
creep.
late on the brakes.
On your left.
Lost 2 places.
Hold your line. Clear left.
Oh, Andy. Come on, mate. Defend your...
Right side. Clear right.
The car ahead is Fisher.
At least Fjordback doesn't seem to have the best race either, so I still make up a few points, so that was a bit of a relief. Very bumpy here as well. If you don't get the perfect line, then you're hitting the
Richardson is
worst
now
bumps.
leading. Sector 2 is yellow.
Right side. Clear right.
And at least no harm done for Big
Green
Run.
flag in sector 2.
He's now 4th. Still in 4th.
P7.
But the usual story, everyone else ahead is fighting, and
Car
so...
right.
Yeah,
Hold
now I
your
gotta
line.
be a bit
Clear
patient.
right. On your right.
But when
Clear
everyone else
right.
ahead is fighting, they lose momentum,
Right
and
side.
you can come with momentum and maybe
Still
surprise
there.
them.
Hold your line. Hold your line. Hold your line. Clear right.
And now Fisher is under pressure from Thorsen behind. And it's again me against Di Martino. So back to 6.
Okay, he's leading the race.
And still well inside. So they weren't giving any quarter in the lead, and that helps everyone else to keep up. Bit of breathing space behind, thanks to Fisher and Thorsen duking
P6.
it out.
That was at 110.77. That's a new fastest lap for Lamberts. 110.05.
110.0, so that probably was one of the back markers had a clear lap, and then 7/10 faster than I was, and yeah, as you see, Di Martino also struggled a bit getting the grip on the exit, but that's perfectly normal in these cars. You don't really need traction control, so when you overdo it slightly,
Right.
then you get these friendly
Clear right.
wiggles, which probably look a bit more dramatic than they actually
Car
are.
right.
And Thorsen's already back
Still
on the
there.
bumper, so that was a good lap
Clear
from him
right.
again. Same effect. He had the clear space. He had no one to irritate them, and then it's already down on my tail. And discovers, yeah, you can't stay on the inside in that kick.
On your right. Clear right.
Nope. Again, a friendly shove, but nothing came out of it. And the only effect was he loses momentum, and Fisher is 7th.
Sectors 1 and 3 are 0.8 off the pace. Sector 2 is 0.28 off the pace. New fastest lap for Zurich, 109.92.
109.9. That was almost faster than one of the top qualifying times, and again I suspect the back marker who had a bit of a clear track in front of him.
Okay, Andy, 10 minutes to go. That's 10 minutes left. Halfway home, fuel's good. The gap to Di Martino ahead is now 0.8.
Car right. Clear right.
Yeah, this was no attempt. This is simply a nice way that you don't have to perfectly judge your braking point. You can simply take a wider line and then not crash into them. It's not faster or slower than anything. It's just, yeah, you can simply keep your own
It's
braking
all over you.
point.
Keep your exit speeds up. Stay smooth. Yellow flag.
Oh.
Sector 3 is clear.
That was Timmers, who had
Green flag,
overdone it
you're
a bit. The tires are obviously not getting better over the distance.
Yellow flag.
And they're probably
Green
squeaky
flag,
as
you're
well.
clear. Stewards have warned us about track limits. Keep it between the lines.
But since
P5.
there was a bit of a gap behind, this didn't really matter. Except now that I have a bit dirty tires. But yeah, they are starting to weave all over the place, so that gave me a little bit of confidence that I might be able to get my places back.
Yellow flag in sector 1.
But I lost them. That
Green flag sector 3.
a clumsy overtaking attempt of Di Martino when
Sector
I
1 is now green.
hit Whitman.
Blockade is now leading.
The key thing is Fjordberg is still stuck in 8th, so that's helpful. I'm making up a few points. And that was a bad exit from everyone else ahead, so that does give me a chance.
Okay, Andy, you've used half your fuel.
No push to pass in these cars, so I have to work all for it myself.
New fastest lap for Ostman, 109.
And I didn't
On
want to
your
hit
left.
Wickman again, so
Still there.
Yellow.
but I did.
Clear left. Clear all round.
Well done, mate. That was great. Incident clear.
Well-
After green flag.
Not really. But yeah, I got a warning from the stewards, so now I have to be really careful. And it wasn't hurt that badly, so it's still in 6th. But of course, a big gap ahead now. But I'm in 3rd, so that gained me 2 places. Can I make headway on the top 2, who seem to have been duking it out since the start of the race?
The next car is Blockade. P3.
This was a pretty much uninterrupted first sector, so let's look at the split. What kind of difference that made? Nothing. So my first split was fine, and didn't make any real headway on the top 2. So they really seem to be in good form today, despite fighting constantly. And of course I had Di Martino
Okay, Andy. The next car is Richardson.
behind to keep me alert.
Right side.
Started to struggle a little bit with my left front
line.
tire, so I had a bad exit here.
Still there. Clear right.
That's your best lap in the session. Sector 1 is 0.46 off the pace.
But still, first lap with a mostly empty track ahead
Right side. Clear right.
immediately is my fastest lap. And now I'm right at the bumper of Richardson. Not the best way through here. But this all of this does but makes Di Martino lose momentum, so he's pressure again from Fischer.
5 minutes to go. You're looking good for a podium. Richardson is leading the race.
So on the one hand, this constant fight looks like an invitation just to try and sneak through, something like this. But on the other hand, I knew I had to be now very careful not to hit anyone other, in addition to Wigman. So I stayed a bit more cautious than I probably needed to.
Fastest lap for Zurich, 109.84.
But this is also very good defensive driving from Kate.
Car right, clear right.
So had I
right.
brake not that early,
Clear right.
I probably would have hit him.
Push, 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 or we'll lose this place.
Yeah, Di Martino and Fischer both look very eager also to be on the podium.
Your left front tyre is really hot. Okay, is now in the lead.
They don't give any quarter to each other. And for Kate probably had a lot of white paint spots on both doors, and Richardson probably had a lot of grey and yellow paint traces on his doors. How good is Richardson at defending? Let's find out.
Car left. Clear left.
It looks like pretty good, just, yeah, holding the line and not giving me any room. And looking at the time at this point, I decided not to
Okay,
overdo
Andy,
things and
hold
risk
your nerve,
things.
just keep it smooth, no mistakes.
This third place would be a very nice outcome.
Richardson is now leading.
And maybe these two would punt each other off at some point. So that was the other hope that I had, that I could benefit from some mishaps of those folks maybe.
The guy ahead is Richardson.
Which already outdated by the time the spotter said it. Okay, very good exit again. Oh, also right in
Just 2 minutes left, 2 minutes to go.
in the slipstream.
Left side. Clear
yeah.
left. Clear left.
Way too slow to try anything, and also there is always Di Martino behind me to keep me honest. And then it's more important to defend the inside lines, that he doesn't get any idea.
Okay, he's leading the race.
These two did an amazing job the entire race. Constantly fighting, but not losing that much time. Also defending well to those behind them and not losing momentum. Maybe they did in
On your left.
going into the last lap.
Hold your line.
But I
Clear
didn't have the best
Andy,
exit
we
either.
estimate you've got 5 minutes of fuel remaining. One more to go. Keep it together, we'll be on the podium. That lap time was 111.70.
And here I didn't want to risk it. And for that I
Right
get a
side.
nice shove from Fischer
Hold your
behind,
line.
who didn't get the memo.
Hold your line.
Another shove,
Hold your line. Clear right.
and he muscled through. That's what I didn't want, and that's what I get from playing nice with guys in front, so now down to fourth.
The car in front of us is Fischer.
Who also knows how to defend. Close to the inside line very nicely there.
Richardson is now in the lead.
On your right.
And here
Hold
it
your
looks like
line.
I spooked him with this dive bomb.
Clear
So
right.
he went to the gravel and lost place
P3.
again.
Good pass. Now keep pushing.
But now I have full smell
Right
over me.
side. Hold your line. Clear right.
But he didn't want to shove me out of the way in the very last corner, so he stuck to fourth.
Well done, decent drive.
Yeah, podium. So definitely a most welcome outcome, and there wasn't anything more in there. So as you've seen, there's no chance to join these two in their constant battle. And yeah, as I said, these two didn't play any role in the first race, so I'm happy with what I can get. Fjordbach is 6th. And if you look at the fastest laps, so they are so terrible at the front, and then you see a few higher 109ers further down the field when some of the back markers had an open lap. And in the end, I'm now 2nd in the overall championship, but we look at this more closely through the drive home. So, I'm now on my way back from Gellerasen, and that was a tough piece of work, wasn't it? So if we look at the results, yeah, 3rd place, that's fine. And I don't think there was anything more in there, and for the impact on the overall standing. So yeah, you can see now I'm 2nd, and so Fjordbach leads, who won the first race and now was 6th. And yeah, behind me still a couple of guys in contention. So certainly Richardson after the victory today, and Di Martino, who I think also scored in both races decently. For Kate in 2nd, and then Schicht, who was 2nd in the first race but didn't score anything today. So yeah, lots of stuff can happen, and then let's see what will happen in the future. And I'm giving you an update from once I'm close to home, as usual. So we are now halfway through the championship, and I'm now close to home again. A long drive again. I've done it before, and yeah, nothing really happened on the way. Pretty clear highways and autobahns, as you can see here, and yeah. So what's next? An exhibition race in China, of all places. But yeah, since BMW takes care of the logistics, I don't really care. So the track looks a bit like the Swedish tracks that we had before. So very tight and twisty, and not much space to breathe. So I hope my experience then from the Swedish Audi TT Cup will come in handy, then getting a good result in Shenyang or whatever it is pronounced. Then in a few weeks, at least, there's a little bit of a break coming up now. So the last 2 races were essentially back-to-back, and I only had a rather short break after the last Audi TT race either. So now it's time to recharge a little bit, and then yeah, see what the second half of the championship has in store. And with that said, don't forget the special promotion for the ride share to the final race in Clermont-Ferrand, and otherwise, see you on track. Don't forget the special promotion for the ride share to the final race in Clermont-Ferrand, and otherwise, see you on track.